The Caps made a ton of moves this offseason. Across the board, on offense, defense, and in net, it's clear this team's doing everything they can to stay competitive while they still have Alex Ovechkin on this roster. He's the centerpiece of this team and has been for 20 years. When you think Washington Capitals, you think of number 8. I will say though, I just included the Caps in my Dark Horse Picks of the Year video, and I barely mentioned Ovi. A lot of other stuff happened with this team this offseason. I did want to dive in a little bit on him though, because this is a huge year for him. He's been so entertaining throughout his career that he's always been a storyline coming into the year, but now being just 42 goals away from passing Gretzky for the all-time goal record. Not only a goal number he's reached in 5 of the last 7 seasons, that was also his exact goal total not even 2 years ago, 2022-23. This is far from a typical, is Ovi still elite, how many goals is he going to score this year type season. It's pretty must-watch stuff as we inch closer to potentially witnessing some crazy NHL history. The most fascinating curveball in all this to me though, was that Ovi didn't have a typical Ovi year last year. It was real bumpy, like he picked it up and still finished with 31 goals, but there were some real rough patches in there, especially beginning of the season and the playoffs. I'm on record saying I do think he breaks the record, but I also think it's seriously fair to wonder which Alex Ovechkin are we going to get this year? Is he on a path of continuous regression due to father time catching up with him, and we should expect to see even lower numbers than he had last year? Or was that just a speed bump? We've seen it a few times in Ovi's career. It's crazy that we're talking about 32, 38, and 33 goal seasons of being speed bumps. That'd be a career year for so many guys, but that's just a testament to how great a career he's had. But he's always found a way to bounce back. Is that what he's going to do here? Or is it different this time because he's about to turn 39 years old? Now, of course, NHL seasons ebb and flow. Players go through hot streaks and slumps. He's not going to be the same all year, but him having another start to the season like he had this past one, or being completely ineffective for a stretch like he was in the playoffs, that could really affect his final goal total and by proxy, the goal record chase. Now, again, he's still got 2 years left on his deal to do it, and he only needs to average 21 goals across those 2 seasons to get there. His production will have to fall off a cliff for him not to make it, and I don't think it will, but still doesn't change the fact that he's a complete wild card these days. Apart from still being a productive first-line player, I think, your guess is as good as mine what we're going to see from Alex Ovechkin this year, especially if he gets some reps alongside Pierre Dubois, who's the ultimate wild card. We've seen him have some decent chemistry with Dylan Strome. Then there's the young guys, Connor McMichael and Hendrix Lapierre. Maybe one of those two can take a step and prove that they're the one who should be playing with Ovi full-time. I know McMichael got some reps with him last year, but all this kind of adds to the mystery of which Ovi we're going to get this year, because there's a lot of maybe this guy, maybe that guy. And as much as he still is a great player, I do think he's going to need some pretty solid setup men around him to help inflate his goal totals. He's not the same ox on skates who can just bulldoze his way to 50 goals every year, no questions asked, with the help of prime Backstrom and Kuznetsov, of course. My personal prediction is that he has a better goal scoring season than he did this past one, but not enough to where he breaks the record this year. I think he's going to get it early next season. I'm going to say he gets 36 goals this year. Let me know how many you think he's going to get in the comments, and why. Do you think the regression sets in? Do you think he bounces back to being elite? Let me know. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We make individual player videos like this quite a bit, but also some variety stuff like Dark Horse Picks, examining every NHL team without a Stanley Cup in their history, talking about who I think the most underappreciated NHL stars are, that kind of thing. So if that type of mix interests you, plus NHL news of course, I'd love for you to stick around, especially as we head into the season. Thank you so much for watching. You're awesome.